everybody. Me and Eric are almost done putting everything in the garden that we need to get planted for at least this part of the year. And we have this really weird little spot, like against our, this is our kitchen behind that. But it's a short spot to grow. We don't want anything to grow above the window, and it's kind of a weird location sun-wise. It gets like really, really hot here until about like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then it's almost like full shade. So that's why we picked some greens to grow here, because they appreciate the shade. And what we're going to plant here is celery. Like, we've never done celery before. It's kind of a finicky little plant. We actually, where is the celery? We started these, God, in like probably the beginning of March, and they take forever to germinate and they take forever to grow. And so even from March, they're this big right now. And we've been debating on where we want to put these guys. And so what we're learning, because we've never planted celery, just so you know, so you know, this is a learning process for us as well. But celery can be planted really close together. It requires a lot of moisture, so this is also a good location because we have our hose like right around the corner. So keeping celery really moist is important, which is also why you can plant it closer together. It doesn't really go out that much, and the closer you keep it, you conserve more water. But we've amended this soil. It's not a great like bed, like it had hostas in here in the past. So what we've done is we've added peat moss and compost. And it's important if you're using peat moss, which is, we've never really used peat moss before, but I had a friend recommend that we add it to our soil since our soil is really sandy. I've been adding our own compost, but peat moss is really great for retaining moisture. But something that we kind of learned is that you have to pre-moisten it. So I put some in the bed, otherwise it just repels water. So you have to kind of, like, you can't just put it in dry, water will run right off it. So we've kind of moistened this bed by spraying it, and I'm just kind of incorporating like equal parts compost and equal parts peat moss into the soil here. Celery likes a very fertile, very loose, and very moist soil. So we're gonna see if this works. And we're gonna get this prepared, and should we just kind of start planting and then just kind of do this? Okay, so usually we come in here and we kind of like rake it and like make it perfect and nice and even with a rake. But you know what, I'm just gonna use my hands here, and Eric can tell me how I'm doing in terms of levelness. Having your soil level is actually really important too, because water tends to, you know, obviously water is going to pool, and if you have an uneven bed, you're going to have certain areas that water is going to pool down. You have really wet areas and really dry areas. So how?
I think that looks really nice.
Okay, looks really nice. We also were told that vegetable stickers were biodegradable. Maybe it takes like many years to biodegrade. So anyways, we've been pulling out our vegetable stickers from our compost. Lesson learned.
Yeah,
okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
So what's your spacing on these?
We're gonna do about 4 inches. Let me pull out. We can do this by eyeball, but this. Can do this by eye, but let's pull out our ruler here and see what we got.
You mean the measuring stick?
It's a ruler.
Are we going to straw this afterwards?
We probably should straw this.
I would say so, to keep the moisture.
So, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 32, 36, 40. Okay. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gosh. Just to kind of see this, we could technically put 11 plants in here. I wouldn't plant right here. That was kind of a bad spot to poke holes, but it's just for me to visualize the spacing. But let's say we started
What is the row spacing? Any idea?
I think it's just 4 inches all around.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, that makes sense. I do see it
Yeah.
planted very thick on other
So if it's saying like
channels.
4 inches, I'm gonna start my first plant about 4 inches in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to keep it off of our row and everything. So that would mean that's really dense.
Well, okay, so you have 10 by how many?
10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, we don't have 70
No.
celery.
So we should figure out our spacing.
So
they're really cute.
we have a decision to make.
And they
We have
taste
2,
really nice.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And then there's a couple over here. Let's see what we've got. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. So we have like 26 altogether.
So what I would do is lay them out in their
Yes,
in
that's
their
what we're gonna do.
containers, see where you want them, and then put them in the ground.
Oh wait, I think I miscounted and I think that there's an extra one.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. This is kind of like the process. Sometimes it's, you know, good to see how people plan out. Sometimes, you know, you can just plunk them in the ground, I guess. But, let's start. That's actually, this is how close they're supposed to be. We could go a little farther apart, to be honest. But, I did watch a few videos on celery, and they did say that planting them closer together is good. Maybe we leave that back open and we don't put that extra one in the back.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And also maybe, yeah, like what you're doing is we start here and we work our way
And then maybe we only have like
this
a
way.
half.
Exactly, and only half of this is filled and we throw something
Maybe
else
we don't
in here.
put in the back and we leave that back open because honestly it's hard to reach. Like if you were trying to get back there and cut, it's gonna be really hard to go over a bunch of plants and then get to the back. So maybe we leave this open and we just kind of focus on planting in the front here.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So we're just kind of, I guess, showing you our whole process as to like how we'll set a bed up for the first time. And here I am with the ruler and I'm not even spacing them anymore.
That's okay.
It just looks,
4 inches is pretty easy to eyeball.
yeah, this looks like we're about,
It's amazing how densely they get planted or put.
so this is about, let's see, from the center to the center, we're even at 4.5 inches on some of them, so
Yeah, that's good.
4 to 5 inches is great. There's all different kinds of celery. There's a thing called blanching, which makes the stalks kind of white. It's kind of like what they do to like asparagus and leeks, where they mound up mulch or soil around the base of the plant, and then it helps it get those like fat, kind of whitish stalks. Otherwise, this might be kind of thin.
Is that it?
This is the celery that we have. So I'm wondering if instead of leaving these two, we just kind of replace
Some of the
these
smaller.
strong plants with 2 of these like weaker ones.
Yeah.
Take the little weaker ones out and put stronger ones in its place, and then maybe we'll plant these 2 somewhere else in the yard as an experiment, because that's kind of a lot of what we're doing. We have a lot of weird locations in our yard, so we're just trying to figure out like, well, where does something do good, you know? This gets really hot, so although this only gets like a couple hours of sun, you know, direct sun, it's very hot when it is here. So that's why we've also put tomatillos against this wall. We're gonna see how they do. They're like tomatoes, and they do require a lot of sun, but you know, sometimes you might be able to make up for it in that they retain a lot of heat as well, which is important to them. So anyway, so we'll get planting here.
You're doing a great job, Lori.
Oh, great. Where's the little trowel? You moved it.
The little trowel.
That's right. I like that one better because this is a little bit big.
It's right over here.
All right.
I just planted the, we had what I believe was a cutworm. Took out one of our peppers, I replanted. We have so many damn peppers that it's not a problem, but a cutworm can be a problem. So anyways, let's see how this works.
Now this soil, this is like the front little corner too, so apparently
it's a little rocky.
It is a little rocky. I think that there's, this house is actually kind of located in a low spot, and so we have a very wet basement, and when my mom bought this house, she had a lot of like French drains and different drainage things put in, and I think that there's a lot of gravel under here. This isn't like the best spot. We worked the bed pretty well, but it's
maybe
okay.
See what the depth of your roots are on the celery. You might have to dig that out.
If you run into a spot that is kind of compacted, just break up the sides of it so the roots can expand. But celery is a shallow rooted plant. So as you can see, we use these solo cups. But certain things are not going to root down in that. So when I took this out, the roots are only going, you can see just this.
The sun is really bright, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see them.
So there's not, you know, it's not really, it doesn't have very deep roots. So we're gonna kind of mix in a little bit of this kind of top compost in here, kind of put it towards the bottom so the roots can get it. Take out the rocks that you find. Tuck in your dirt really good around your roots there. And move some of this over.
Well, Papa Sparrow is above here with something in his mouth to feed the babies. And he's just standing on top of the birdhouse watching me. Look at him.
Yeah,
Come here, Papa.
sparrows are kind of making sure they're taking care of their
There he is. Mama goes right in there.
Oh,
She
here's
doesn't.
another one, see? Yep, they're all going to be like that. Very shallow roots, which is honestly nice for planting. So, like, that's also, you know, why we put them here, is that does not have a lot of deep dirt. You wouldn't really plant anything with deep tap roots, and celery doesn't have deep tap roots. So anyways, probably not going to want to see me planting 20 celery plants right now.
I do.
But, you know, it's kind of a boring thing. But just kind of wanted to show, you know, when you have small spaces and you have weird spaces, try new things, be brave.
Don't be afraid to mess up.
Don't be afraid to mess up. If you're trying something different with a plant, maybe plant it in 2 locations if you can, and see what works better for you. It's kind of a new environment for us. It's not like we've lived here for 5-10 years. It's only been a couple of years that we've lived here, so
we'll come back and maybe in one of our garden walkthroughs, I'm sure we will be talking about the progress. And
yeah, this will be pretty interesting. So anyways, guys, that's our tiny little celery bed. Thanks for joining us.
I think you're supposed to say, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a better way or another way, feel free to leave a comment, obviously, always. Or if you have a question. We're not experts, but
we're not really, you know, I just want to say, we're not really here to necessarily like teach, because, you know, we're not doing like this is exactly how you would do celery. We're kind of documenting our own experience and what we are doing in our yard as kind of, you know, we know what we're doing, but we're still experimenting and there's still things that we haven't tried. So it's more just a way for us to document what's going on as well, and to show people that, you know, you don't have to know everything to garden. Although we do know a lot.
Yeah, and every year we learn a little bit more. So anyways, like, subscribe, comment, or dislike if you don't like it. Whatever. Okay, shutting this down. Happy planting and stuffs.